You hear? It's LYLBR. Let's cheer! Woo! Welcome to Let Your Love Be Real talk show. I'm your host, Markia Butler, and so far we've had a really great second season. It's homecoming season, y'all. Have you ever been to a homecoming game that you've been so hyped up about and yelled, "Go team, go!" Woo! Well, our next guest is someone that has definitely been hitting goals and you don't want to miss it. So tune in to be inspired, motivated, and most of all, we're all on the winning team if you let your love be real. This is Let Your Love Be Real talk show. Every community needs a foundation and pillar to lead its youth on a brighter path. This could be in the form of humanitarian, an artist, an entertainer, a spiritual leader, or even a comic character. This episode will touch on faith, proactivity, and being a positive influence in our community. With that said, today we are introducing Pastor Phil Williams, who is the man of many hats. We will talk about his passion, his impact on the youth, and his character, Lil Jimmy, and how he is making a change in the hip-hop community. Hello, everyone. We have Phil Williams to talk to us today about everything. When I say he wears multiple hats, Phil, please tell us where you're from and what exactly you do.
Hey, thank you, Markia, for having me on. I think this is an amazing show. My name is Phil Williams. They call me Philosophy. I'm born and raised in Akron, Ohio, but I live here in Atlanta, Metro Atlanta right now. And man, the things that I do, I think they're amazing. I think they're really cool. But, you know, it's just, I just mentor at-risk teens. I deal with people. I minister. I'm a music producer, a songwriter. I'm an author. I just do a lot of things. God blesses me to do a lot of things, but it's all wrapped around communication. I just believe communication is key, and how we're being communicated to will dictate the environment that we keep around us. So if we're being communicated to negatively, then we're going to have a negative environment. And the part is, if you're being communicated positively, you're going to have a positive environment. The trick is that negativity is occupying the creative space. And so now people think they're being positive when they're being really negative, because it's saturating all the stuff that communicates to them through creativity. And so what I try to do with my ministry and my gifts and my talents is counteract that negative creativity with positive creativity.
All right, so thank you so much. You do so many amazing things, Phil, like wonderful things. So let's jump right on in. And what is Jimmy? Like, what inspired you to create Jimmy?
Yeah, Lil Jimmy, Liljimmy. Lil Jimmy, he's a 12-year-old kid character. I created his storyline. He was abandoned by his mom. He doesn't know his dad. And he was adopted by his old school hip hop grandfather, who retired from hip hop when it was positive. And now that it's negative, his grandfather's come out of retirement to try to bring discipline and love and respect back to the art form of hip hop. And so adopting his grandson, Lil Jimmy's now getting at 9 years old, he's getting a balance of love and discipline and respect, but more so the value of an education. And so now at the age of 12, after touring with his grandfather, Lil Jimmy is saying, "Grandpa, I want to rap and I want to be an advocate for my peer group like you're being." And so this whole dynamic came. I went to college at a very late age. I was a very seasoned person in college. I was 28 years old. And I thought I could play football, and I did. I did very well. But they had a program on the college campus where they brought ninth graders onto the campus and they spend a day there. So because in the ninth grade, that's when everything really starts to count. And so these young people being on campus, they're so developed. I mean, dudes had mustaches, girls was developed. But when they spoke, it was just so concerning. they spoke like they had life already figured out and things like this. And then I said, God, I wish I can go back to school knowing what I know now so I can share with these young people something very positive and productive. And Lil Jimmy is that way for me to go back to school knowing what I know now. So that was the answer to my prayer. And so that's where Lil Jimmy comes from. He's a positive rap artist, never says anything negative. He has over 260 songs. All of them are from a young person, kid point of view. And he's a forever 12-year-old because Jesus Christ was 12 when he started saying profound things to authority. And so Little Jimmy is that character that does those things.
This is so amazing. Like, I just see all of what you do intertwined into all of this, because I do believe you're the voice of Little Jimmy.
Yes. Yes,
and you do all the music for him. So that is amazing. So, and I see your creative background back there. So you're able to produce and do everything you need. So congratulations. And that is absolutely amazing. And I want to commend you also for going to college later on. That is so wonderful, because some people think that they can't go back, or because they've crossed over a certain age group that college is not for them. But no, you can go back to college and you can do what you need to do. So
yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Make things happen. So you're so welcome. I want to actually switch over to you sharing information about you being a veteran. And I want to say thank you so much for serving our country. I just want to touch on that just slightly.
Yes, ma'am.
So as far as you being a veteran, what does that mean to you today? And how, is there any information or any encouragement you can give veterans around the world?
Yes, ma'am. And thank you for asking. Yes, and is a very, I'll just say this. The military is not for everybody, but I truly believe that everybody should go to the military for at least 2 years. And it's not I look at it as a patriotic thing, but I try to give respect to other people that don't look at it that way. What the military provided for me, and I would say most veterans would probably agree with this, it provided me a discipline of how to take orders, how to give orders, how to follow orders, how to even respectfully decline orders. It gave me a sense of camaraderie. It got me out of the mindset of being from Akron, Ohio, and just the small things I've seen around Akron, Ohio. And it helped me be counter-dependent on other people from all other parts of the nation, like a brother, like a sister, like, we call them battle buddies or foxhole buddies. And, and so listening to their stories and their accounts where they come from, I feel like I've been all over the nation, and the military provided that. And I can truly say that when we were in our reception station, they said the military doesn't see color. They just see green, the Army green. I was in the Army. But one of the things that I really make that a true statement is because when we went to the reception station, everybody had their hair. And so their hair defined their kind of look and their swag or whatever that. But when they went to Butcher Bob, everybody got a bald head. And I'm telling you, you didn't see black people, white people. You just seen a bunch of bald head people. We all the same. So outside of our attitudes about things, we were all the same. And so as a veteran, experiences and bring that discipline into what I do for my community now. Because as a veteran, I took an oath to defend my country against enemies, foreign and domestic. And so basically that doesn't have an origin, a region, it just has a negative versus a positive to me. Mm-hmm. And so since I'm doing these things in the community, that discipline that I got in the military helps me be able to minister and communicate with the people in our country. I can do it non-politically, but I can understand the political. I can do it non-religiously, but I can understand the faith. And I can do tactfully, because all these dynamics you learn in the military. And so as far as being a veteran, I stay active in my community, still defending my country against enemies. If you're negative, you're an enemy that deserves love, but you gotta be dealt with. And so I counteract the negative music with positive music. I counteract the lack of love in music and put love in the music. I counteract, and I learned those kind of things as a communication specialist in the military.
That is absolutely amazing. I love that when it's like no color, we're all the same. We have our heartbeats and we're here to do the same thing. So that is so wonderful. So speaking of music, can we jump over to how did you come up with the name Life Music to cover everything for you? Like, how did you come up with that?
Yes, ma'am. Well, right now I attend a church called Mustard Seed Faith. My pastor's name is Jimmy A. Copeland. But prior to being at Mustard Seed, I had Apostle McClendon, Larry McClendon. He was my spiritual leader at the time, and his church was Life. It was Life Church. And being there, I started making music with his son, John L. Bledsoe, and stuff like that. And so since it was Word of Life Church, Word of Life. And so that life thing kind of clicked with me. And so when we started doing our thing, we just called ourselves Life. But then when I broadened it out into the bigger studio production dynamic, I just felt like we needed to make life music to counteract all this death music.
Okay.
Life music. I'm sorry, please.
Oh no, I was gonna say, and with Life Music, you created the first ever hip hop album that's like positive. Like, how did you start that journey?
Well, you know, I had one of my idols when I was young. I love sharing this part right here. One of my idols when I was young was Will Smith. And because Will Smith made the decision that he was not going to curse in his songs, when everybody else was cursing in the songs, he said, I'm not going to cuss in my songs. And everybody gave him positive credibility for that. But then what the Holy Spirit showed me is that because he's not cussing doesn't make it positive. His songs were very negative. And to me, Will Smith's songs were more dangerous than the people that were cussing because he was saying negative things without cussing. And people said, wow, Will Smith is so positive. No, his song that made him very popular was Parents Just Don't Understand. What did parents not understand, Will? Parents don't understand I want to cut school. That's negative. Because he didn't cuss, people said he was positive. I want to sleep with the girl across the street. That's negative. But because he didn't cuss, people said it was positive. I want to steal my daddy's car. That's negative. Because he didn't cuss, people said he was positive. And so what I feel I'm being called to do with life music is to make the differentiation between negative versus positive, not vulgarity versus non-vulgar. Killing, destroying, if you're bullying, if you're bragging, those are negative things. And none of my music does any of those things. Lil Jimmy does not brag. He'll never sag. He'll never do any of those things. His music will be positive. He's not boasting about things that he has. He's not repping a block, a set, a color, or anything. It's just positivity. And then in closing on that point, Jesus Christ, in my feelings, was a positive character. He positively impacted everyone he met, and he did that positivity religiously. And so positivity, people might not want Jesus, but I think an axe murderer might want something positive. It's obvious he didn't want Jesus, he's an axe murderer. But he does want something positive. And so that's where that positivity comes from me. I believe everybody wants something positive, even if they're living in a negative environment.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you for sharing that. Also, speaking of being a parent, you're a dad and you're a grandpa. So
Yeah.
I want to ask, going through 2021 with all the music we have out today, just during the pandemic, is there an experience that sticks out to you the most?
There's a bunch of them, but I'll share one. I deal with at-risk teens. You know, when I have my grandchildren, they call me Papa. You know, everything is cool. Just celebrated I call her my Twinnie Win-Win because we look alike. And I guess we just celebrated her 6th birthday and things like that. But there's some young people that come in here. And one of my things is I never make a song based on what I'm going through. I never do that. I what you're through and I make a song so that you feel listened to and then solution to what you're going through. So when you hear the song, you feel like, wow, not only did Phil listen to me, but he also gave me a better understanding of how I can overcome these things. So one of the young people came in the studio. He said, Mr. Phil, Man, I never hear you complaining about anything. I never see you stressing. You always seem like you got a positive vibe and this and that. I said, come on, man, all the stuff you hear me talking about out in the world, you don't hear me complaining? He said, no, Mr. Phil. And this is a baby telling me this. I'm like, he's like, no, Mr. Phil, I don't look at you as complaining because you're doing something about it. Every single time I hear you talking about something in the world or what's happening in the community, I know that you're doing something about it. So I don't look at that as a complaint. And that was just so enlightening to me. It touched my spirit so much to where now I say, no, I'm not a complainer. No, I don't complain. If there's something out there that needs to be done, I'm doing something about it. So I'm talking about it to let you know that it's being addressed. Because some in our we do want something done, but we might not know what to do. And I try to position myself to be that person that people could say, I want my child to have positive music. I don't know how to do it, but Phil does. So I can go to lifemusic.com, music with a Z, and I can buy the positive music that I'm complaining about. I can buy something to counteract the negativity that I'm complaining about, to where now they can say, I'm not a complainer because I'm doing something about it. I'm giving them life music. And so that's one of the stories I like to share.
Absolutely. This is so amazing that you're doing such great things, not only with our youth, but you said something so key that when there is an issue or a problem, you're not going to complain, but you're going to do something about it. And that proactive activity is what we need. That proactive intentionality is what we need in the world. So thank you so much for doing your part.
No problem.
So I do want to say that you're the first pastor that I've had on the show. So I want to ask you, from your perspective and opinion, why is it important to find or chase purpose?
Because we were all born for a purpose. We were all born for a reason. If you made it through, there's for a reason. If it didn't kill you, it makes you stronger. There is a purpose there. And if you don't understand your purpose and what your gifts and your talents are, and your reasoning and rationale for being here, then most likely you're going to be a contributor to somebody else's purpose, somebody else's goals and dreams. And as a minister and as a pastor, I just feel that we're all created in the likeness of God, in his imagery. And he created everything that we know. Everything that we're going to be, he created it out of nothing. So if we're created like him, that means we don't have to have something in order to create something. But he gives us all these somethings. So if you don't have to have anything to create something, just imagine what you can do with all the stuff that you have. You always have something. If it's just one thing, it's something to build on. You don't have to have a lot of things. And I think we're being tricked into thinking that we have to have a lot in order to do something. No, all you need to have is one person's issues, problems, or concerns. And that's something to build on. Do something about it. Show them something can be done. Show them that they can be loved and understood. Show them that you can do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthens you. Show them by demonstrating to them that I heard you. Not only did I hear you, I feel you. Not only do I feel you, here is something to appeal to you. Find something to go out there and find purpose in helping fix, because there's a whole lot of stuff out there that can be fixed. And there's a whole lot of people that can do it. If you just understand that your purpose is something positive and loving for somebody else.
Just to reiterate, you said to find something that you believe in and start from there and go from there, because it had paused just slightly. It was the last portion you were saying. Are you able to repeat that again? It was like the last little portion where you were like, just fine, and it kind of stopped. So
yes, Allah, find it. You're here for a purpose. You have a purpose. I prefer you to find Jesus, because Jesus, in my opinion, for me, he's demonstrated everything that I'm sharing with you. He's demonstrated, and he died for you to know that you can take his demonstration and go out there and help somebody, love on somebody. You don't have to hate somebody. Don't get it twisted thinking that I'm hating and that's loving somebody. Calling your female out of her name and that's love. And calling your brother the N-word and all these kind of things, and that's respect. And all these kind of things, that's twisted. That's so twisted. But regardless, you have a purpose. And if you can find some faith, you can go out there and function in that purpose and help somebody.
You said a mouthful, Phil. Got me a little speechless here. I'm like, you almost sound like a spokesperson for a Let Your Love Be Real talk show.
Wow.
A lot of what you just said, because it is about seeing a need, feeling a need. That's what this show is about. Like spreading, joy and love and letting people know that they're seen. And these are things that you do. So I'm so thoroughly excited that we had the opportunity to interview with you. And then my last question that I have for you is, what is it that you feel most accomplished, that you kind of mostly appreciate about your journey thus far?
Just, I feel that I know how to love. And I know how to be respectful. I know how to be mindful. There was times in my life when I don't think I was being loved. I think I was being beat on or abused. And I've overcome that. And I look at it as scars like a travel map. So the scars on my body is like a map. And it all leads to my heart. And I can love. And I cannot hate. If I can forgive the people who beat me, oh my God. If I can forgive the people that mistreat me, oh my God. And in one of my favorite passages in the Bible, he says, do things for others knowing that you're going to heaven, not for what you can get in return. And that was so powerful to me. And through my journey, I can see that it's not about what you give me in return, because I go to heaven by myself or I go to hell by myself. It's what I do for you, and knowing that me doing that gets me to heaven. That's what I've learned on my journey, and I hold that to heart. And so now I can be a loving fiance, I could be a loving dad, I could be a loving grandparent, I could be loving youth pastor at my church, I can love people that I don't know, I can love people that spitefully use me, I cannot think it's strange when I get cussed out, I could just always count it all joy, and I can have that peace and that love, and then I can also return that respect and understanding.
Thank you, Phil Williams, for this amazing interview. Thank you for the love that you give everyone around you. Is there anyone else you want to shout out, like friends and family? You shout out your church. That's amazing. Like, is there anyone else you want to say hello to? And where can we find you?
I will say this. This is one of the most dangerous things to ever do is start naming people, because when you forget somebody, they're going to be mad. But that's okay. I still love them. I'll just say this. I give honor to my pastor, Jimmy A. Copeland. I give honor to my Mustard Seed church family. And I just thank everybody that supports life music, every single person. You know who you are. If you like to support what I'm doing, just go to lifemuzic.com. You can make a donation. I am a disabled wartime Army veteran. This is a veteran-owned business. You can support a veteran doing things out in the community that you might be complaining about, and life music can help you stop complaining, because now you can do something about it. And so just everybody, you know who you are, all my Facebook friends, Twitter friends, everybody on social media, but my church family and the people that I know love me to death. I love you guys so much. Oh, I'm sorry. I will get in trouble if I don't say this. My Hearts to Nourish Hope family, the place where my studio is at. We feed over 5,000 families a month. We house homeless teens. We mentor them. We love on them, even when they don't want to be loved on. We still love on them. I'll say it like this, not to be vulgar, but we love the hell out of them. We really, really do. And in my Hearts to Nourish Hope family, I just love you guys dearly, and you guys know who you are.
Well, thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you on the show today. Is there a specific site outside of live music that you want to share?
All my social media is the same. Phil Williams HQ.
Perfect.
Phil Williams HQ is all my social media.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys, here at Let Your Love Be Real Talk Show. Stay tuned. We have more. Thank you, Phil. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Markia. Matt Price, you my boy. Love you guys. Peace.
Mac. Phil, this definitely has me inspired. You have utilized your talents and your platform to change the lives of those around you and the next generation to come. We are in the season of change, and it's the perfect time to turn over a new leaf and do something beautiful. Let's encourage and uplift those around us as we inch towards the close of 2021. Thank you to everyone who has submitted their film. We are looking over them, and we'll decide after October 15th. This is another way we are showing love to other artists and creatives. This episode was fun. We all feel like we won. I don't rap like a pro. Glad you watched the show. Right before we go, as you all know, follow Phil on Instagram right before we scram. Phil Will HQ, and follow Lil Jimmy too. I live. A shout out to the writers Tia Elise and Erica D. Curry. Woo! I am your host, Markia Butler, and we are in our second season of Let Your Love Be Real Talk Show. Thank you for your love and support, and remember, love is the breath you breathe. So, let your love be real.